Situated in one of the highest and most arid regions of the Andes, the area is difficult to access, and large-scale research efforts have been rare. Unlike the Nazca Lines, which have been extensively mapped and studied, the Sajama Lines remain relatively unknown to the wider world. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Sajama Lines is how they have endured despite the passage of time. Created by simply scraping away the top layer of soil and rock, they have remained intact for centuries due to the dry climate and lack of vegetation. Unlike other geoglyphs that have eroded over time, the Sajama Lines have barely faded, standing as permanent scars on the landscape. Despite their endurance, they remain at risk. In recent years, increased human activity, including road construction and tourism, has begun to threaten parts of the site. Without formal protection or preservation efforts, the lines could eventually be damaged or lost. Whether they were sacred walkways, territorial markers, or something even more enigmatic, their sheer precision and scale defy easy answers. Some ancient mysteries span vast landscapes, visible only from above. Others are much smaller, yet no less perplexing. Artifacts that seem to challenge the very timeline of human history. One such artifact was discovered in London, Texas in 1936, and has since become one of the most controversial objects in the study of ancient anomalies. Known as the London Hammer, this seemingly ordinary tool, a simple metal hammer embedded in rock, has sparked decades of debate. The reason? The rock encasing the hammer is said to be over 400 million years old, long before humans, let alone metal tools, were supposed to exist. The story of the London Hammer begins when Max Hahn and his wife Emma were hiking near Red Creek, Texas, when they spotted a strange piece of wood protruding from a rock formation. Curious, they took it home and later broke the rock open, revealing a hammerhead made of iron, still attached to its wooden handle, encased in solid stone. At first glance, it looked like a normal 19th century blacksmith's tool, but the real mystery lay in the rock itself. Geologists claimed that the formation surrounding the hammer dated back to the Ordovician period, over 400 million years ago. This claim, if true, would be impossible according to everything we know about history. The conventional timeline tells us that the first true humans capable of forging metal tools only appeared around 200,000 years ago, and metalworking itself didn't develop until about 5,000 years ago. So how could an iron hammer be encased in rock that predates even the dinosaurs? For those who believe in out-of-place artifacts, oopards, objects that seem to contradict our understanding of history, the London Hammer is seen as potential evidence of lost civilizations, time travel, or even ancient extraterrestrial influence. Some claim that the hammer could be a remnant of a forgotten technological society, one that existed long before recorded history and vanished without a trace. Others suggest it might be proof that human history is far older than we currently believe, with advanced civilizations rising and falling long before our own. But skeptics offer a different explanation. The most common theory is that the rock encasing the hammer is not 400 million years old, but rather a much younger formation known as a concretion, a process where minerals gradually harden around an object over time, creating the appearance of ancient stone. This would mean that the hammer itself is not ancient, but simply a modern tool that became trapped in a natural process. Supporters of the hammer's mystery argue that its iron composition is unusual for a modern tool. Analysis has shown that the iron contains a purity level not typical of 19th century metalworking, leading some to speculate that it was created using an unknown or lost method of metallurgy. The hammer's wooden handle is also partially fossilized, which suggests that it has been buried for a significant amount of time. But whether that means thousands of years or hundreds of millions is still debated. One of the reasons the London Hammer remains controversial is that it has never been thoroughly studied by mainstream scientists. The artifact is now in the possession of the Creation Evidence Museum in Texas, an institution that promotes the idea of a young Earth and often presents the hammer as evidence against conventional evolutionary timelines. Because of this, the hammer has remained outside the reach of independent testing. leaving many of its biggest questions unanswered. One of the most compelling arguments against the hammer's supposed age is the lack of geological context. Normally, when an ancient artifact is found, archaeologists carefully document where it was discovered, what type of sediment it was buried in, and any surrounding materials that could provide clues to its age. But because the London hammer was removed from its original location before proper analysis could be done, there is no way to verify its geological history with certainty. Yet, the mystery persists. If the London hammer is simply a modern tool that became encased in rock over time, why does it look so out of place? Why does the iron appear to be so pure? And if it really was found in ancient rock, what does that mean for our understanding of history? Some believe these artifacts could be anomalies caused by natural processes, while others argue they may be evidence of lost civilizations that were far more advanced than we realize. There are even those who suggest they could be traces of a far older human-like species, one that developed technology long before Homo sapiens, but was somehow erased from history. But the simplest explanation for the London hammer remains that it is a relatively modern tool, encased in a rock formation that formed much more recently than originally believed. Many geologists argue that concretions can form in a matter of centuries, not millions of years, and that the hammer was likely just an old mining tool that became embedded in such a formation. Even if the London hammer turns out to be nothing more than an ordinary 19th century artifact, its story continues to captivate people around the world. It represents something deeper than just an old tool. It speaks to our endless fascination with the unknown, our desire to uncover forgotten histories, and our willingness to question the past. Whether it is a genuine anomaly or just an odd geological formation, it reminds us that the past is full of unanswered mysteries. Some of these are found in small, seemingly misplaced objects, while others are buried deep into the earth, hidden in the dark recesses of ancient underground chambers. One such place exists on the island of Malta, a structure so old, so enigmatic, and so full of secrets that even today, its true purpose is still debated. This is the high podium